birthday party is about a man named Stanley who lives in a boarding house. Um, when two men show up out of the blue and they make his birthday party a nightmare.
Meg is this very oblivious person. She very much lives in her own little bubble. Like to her, she's got this wonderful, loving, caring husband who's always so interested in what she has to say. And then, on the side, she's got Stanley, this young, strange, mysterious guy who seems very interested in her as well. Objectively, she's quite an annoying character, but also rather intriguing because it's so hard to see how she's so oblivious to, all the events of this play and what's been going on with the fellow characters, and just the way that she carries on as though everything is just fine and dandy, despite it being clearly not.
Petey is a very boring and pretty basic, just regular, average husband who likes his cornflakes in the morning, wants to go set up deck chairs, read the paper. He really doesn't need much to make his day, and he's not really looking for any other opportunities. He just wants to kind of stick within his ritual and routine.
I play Lulu, and she seems as though she's just your average girl, nothing really special about her or anything like that, just kind of like the girl next door. Um then kind of as the play goes on, you kind of see more and more about who she really is, and whereas like compared to the very start of the play, at the end she seems like a completely different person. She's almost unrecognizable.
Anne is the character Goldberg's like right hand man. They're old colleagues, and he's kind of like his straight man, where Goldberg is very eccentric and not very by the book. McCann is very concerned with details, but he's also sort of like a hype man for Goldberg at the same time.
Goldberg and who he is, I actually took a lot of inspiration creating my character. A lot of my inspiration is actually taken from Hannibal Lecter. When I first got into this play and I read through the play, and we did our read throughs, was around the time that I watched for the first time ever Silence of the Lambs. And I was like, he is exactly like Goldberg. He's able to get into your head and just twist your mind so calmly because he very rarely yells. And I think that is part of his insidious nature.
A lot of the times people expect things to wrap up nicely, for them to have an easy explanation for all their questions. And this play doesn't give you that at all. It further cements every single time you want answers that you're not going to get any answers to your questions.
Harold Pinter offers a really contrasting ways of life, I guess, in the way that Stanley's past is never detailed, but he's clearly guilty of something, and he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to go into detail about it. But something's clearly haunting him.
This play is so rich and it's so challenging. And there's also a lot of very modern points in it that can be translated into today's society. For example, women's roles in society and men's roles in society are tapped in a little bit in this play that aren't necessarily screaming at your face, but they're kind of weaved into there.
I think you can really dig deep into every single line in this play.
I think it's very fun in that way, where you can sort of theorize about what might have happened, and who these people might be and why they might be there, who's doing what and why. It's certainly a personal experience in that way then.
This is very different compared to any sort of theater I've done with school in the past, certainly compared to another traditional play. But I think that's kind of the beauty of it as well, because this is not your typical play. It's so weird and also comedic in spots, and I find it a really interesting and deep plot, so it makes a lot of sense that we've chosen to do it this way.
And this isn't me like scrounging for an answer. Like I know what this play is about deep in my mind, but I cannot verbalize it because it's so weird.
I only learned what an absurdist play was last year, and many people who watch this play, this might be, or listen, this might be the first time they're ever hearing an absurdist play. And I think that absurdist plays as a whole have a place in theater because of how specific the genre is and how fascinating it is and how it can open like a whole new realm and all these doors into acting. But I think this play in particular does have a place just because of its complexity.
We're able to manipulate sound in a lot of different ways. We can input sound effects and make it more even and really make sure that everyone's audio is still nice and clear. So, everyone's voices are more easily heard. And we don't have to worry about if there was to be a tech issue on the stage, no one's voice would be affected and we can still hear everyone really well.
Although it is a bit of a bummer to lose some of the more physical aspects of this play, I still found that just doing voice acting was more engaging than I thought it would be.
I think going into theater this year obviously was worried or unsure about what that would look like at all, because who knew what was going to happen or whatever. But then moving it online with the birthday party and having this assumption of we'd all kind of act like we're in the same room or whatever, that was harder for me to get my head around, I will say. But then switching to this radio idea, at first it was like I had so many questions, but as it went on, I found it was really beneficial for this play.
With everything that's going on right now, we need to kind of keep the things that we love and we need to keep doing them, because I mean there's not a whole lot of good stuff happening like in the world right now. It's not a fantastic time. But so I just think we really need to, all of us, keep the things that we really love part of our lives, even with all the difficulty that's going on.
Going into the year, I was unsure how that would work with kind of working with BSS and UCC and staying safe. And I think it's been really beneficial to have this kind of mix of UCC BSS, because it, we read through the play or we act out a scene and I may interpret it one way and someone from BSS has interpreted it a completely other way or has some sort of experience that can relate to what a character is going through.
I've been an active member of the UCC BSS co-curricular program, I guess, and every time I find the interaction and the chemistry between both student bodies, it always makes working on these productions very rewarding and very it makes it fun. It makes you just want to get in it, and it makes you want to do good work. And I'm very happy that we're still able to maintain that despite, a global pandemic.